Standard greeting. Hello, masters, meatbags, and other watchers on the internet. My name is Matt, you're watching Hogwash Gaming, and today we are going to be building HK-47 from the Knights of the Old Republic games in the Star Wars RPG. And so you see, I have put HK-47 in the character name slot, and he's a droid, because of course he is. And we're going to start working on how to build a character in this system. I've been studying up this system pretty much all month, really enjoying it, and hopefully we can make something that we like and be able to use it. And hopefully this gives you a example of how to build these kinds of characters in this system. I'll probably make more of these if you like it, and so let's get started. So the first thing that we want to do is we want to determine background, and that is, in this game anyway, not super mechanical. This is very much helping with the roleplay aspect of things, and it's not bad to do. It's just not the most vital thing to do, and we're not going to agonize over this right now. But I do have something prepared, so we'll just put it into other character notes. I don't think there's a background thing on this character sheet. By the way, this is a form-fillable character sheet. It's called Bastion Kane's character sheet. I will try to remember to leave a link in the description so you can download it and fill it out as you wish. Yeah, I think the best place to put his background is in other character notes. Maybe I'm wrong. But I also have, just so you guys know, I am using a cheat sheet. I built this character in advance. So, come on. Copy, paste. There we go. So, Bounty Hunter reprogrammed to serve the Republic. I tried to do this without a cheat sheet earlier, and it did not go well. So, it just took a very, very long time, and I was studying all of these different things, and it was boring to watch. So, next up, we determine duty. Now, duty in this game, I'll be explaining what this does as we go along. So, duty is something only in Age of Rebellion, and it's a measurement of how much you are contributing or recognized for contributing to the rebellion itself. What we're going to say for this video is there will be 3 other players, so there will be 4 in total, so we start with 10. Now, here's the thing. I don't think HK-47 would have a ton of duty. I think he would be entering this game starting at level 0, but he starts with a level 10. That's okay, because down here, you see that you can trade out, when you're building your character, certain amounts of duty for certain amounts of things. You could give 10 duty away to start with 10 more XP that you can spend later. We'll be spending XP in a bit. Or you could give away some duty to start with a little extra money. Now, I'm going to start with minus 10 duty, so starting with 0 duty, but plus 2,500 starting credits. That will give me the ability to have quite a range of options as far as buying things, and we'll make a pretty good character with a lot of equipment. Now, do you have to do this in order to have a good character? No, I wouldn't say that you did. It's just for our current situation with a assassin droid being brought into the Republic, or into the Rebel Alliance, we're going to be better served giving him a lot of weaponry, especially with droids, but we'll get there in the next thing. So we're just going to say 0 duty, and starting with 2,500. And just to make things a little more streamlined, I'm going to actually come down here. Where is it? Available credits. when you start out normally, you start with 500 credits. So we'll just call it 3,000 and call it good. All right, we'll spend that later. All right, so next up on our list is we select a species. We are going to be a droid, and droids are kind of weird because they don't... Okay, let's look at... I think these are Bothans. Yeah, Bothans start with 1 in brawn, 2 in agility, 2 in intellect, 2 in cunning, or 3 in cunning, 2 in willpower, and 2 in presence. Not bad. They have the low of the brawn, so they're not physically strong, but they have higher stats than the other things, which is pretty cool. They also start with 100 XP to spend on things. You can use XP later to upgrade these things. So, when we turn to droids, we see that they're 1 across the board. Not very good. But they start with 175 XP, which is the most of any species, I'm pretty sure. And that means you can have more to boost what you want to have your character be good at. So here's... all of this is kind of not fluff, but it's kind of explaining what a droid is like and how there are different types that you could use as a basis for your character. You don't have to, but these are just kind of like, oh yeah, these droids exist, and you might consider using them. Like the R series is an astromech droid, like R2-D2. Then you've got the IG assassin droids, like on Empire Strikes Back and in Mandalorian. I'm pretty sure it's in episode 1 he shows up. Pretty cool. 3PO protocol droids, you know them. And surgical droids, kind of like on Empire Strikes Back, helping Luke get his hand back together and also floating in the bacta tank after being attacked by a Wampa. So these are just kind of ideas, but as you know very well, there are thousands of types of droids in Star Wars, and you can choose any one of those as just the flavor of which your character is. But for your stats, we're going to start off with 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. All right, so 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, all across, and that's not all that droids get. They also have these stats that we will be boosting, I'm sure. So 10 plus brawn for their wound threshold. We'll talk about that in a little bit. And I know that strain is 10 there. Soak is 0 for now, and defense is 0, 0. We'll be upgrading this in a bit, including encumbrance. I might actually have to look that up. I think it's 5 plus brawn, so it would be 6 right now. But we'll cover that when we cover that. Technically, we're not supposed to be filling these out yet, but we're here, so might as well. All right, starting XP is 175. So let's go down here and just do 175 for now. We will be deleting these, and if you were doing these on a physical piece of paper, I would highly suggest filling everything out with a pencil, especially when building your character. All right, next up, we have special abilities. They don't need to eat, sleep, or all of that. Oh, one thing that I should probably cover. I'm looking at my cheat sheet, and I skipped something over the duty thing, and that is... my duty is actually kind of important. It's support and helping others do their jobs. So, motivations, description... where's duty? It wouldn't be duty on this one because this is the Edge of the Empire sheet. Okay. Let's see. That would be obligation. So we'll just go duty and support. And we'll be helping others in the Alliance get their job done. Copy. Paste. All right, there we go. Great. All right, sorry about that. Okay, so we also will be down here. These are items, other property. Where's the... Still working my way around this. Oh, here we go. Character talents. All right. So, don't need to eat, sleep, drink, or breathe. Immune to toxins, poisons. We got a higher cybernetic cap than most other things. So we will be copying and pasting that. And one of the best things about them is they automatically get more skills out of their career, and specialization skills. So very good there. They also are inorganic, so they don't heal via back to tanks or medicine. Instead, they use emergency repair patches and mechanics checks. And they are also, because they do not have organic life, they are not affected by the Force as far as mind control, and they cannot use the Force. So there's that. I'm not going to fill out here because it's all here. I might use that later if we buy some talents later on, but this is good enough for now. All right. So now that we are a droid and we filled out all of this mechanical being, inorganic, and special abilities, all that's taken care of, it's time to select a career and specialization. Now, here's the thing. And I'm going to switch over my OBS recorder to show you a project that I've been working on. I went through this game and through all of the main core books and the class specialization books, and I made a list of everything there. So from Edge of the Empire, we have Bounty Hunter, Colonist, Explorer, Hired Guard, Smuggler, and Technician. From Age of Rebellion, we have the Ace, the Commander, the Diplomat, the Engineer, the Soldier, the Spy, and then a little bonus tree here is the Recruit. And then in Force and Destiny, we have the Counselor, the Guardian, the Mystic, the Seeker, the Sentinel, and the Warrior. And each of these in the core books, supplemented by the career source books, each one of these careers has 6 sub specializations. Now, just because HK-47 is an assassin droid doesn't mean that we're going to be choosing assassin. For one thing, it's in Edge of the Empire and not in Age of Rebellion. So with all of that in consideration, let's just take a look at what these classes have going for them. So what I did in this file is I went through and I checked out what stat upgrades were in the talent tree, what skills were upgraded in the talent tree, or at least came in like an ability that boosted them in some way, how much utility those abilities had, and how much was focused on combat. And then I just kind of summarized what the talent tree focused on. And then I just kind of wrote this like playstyle kind of general idea of, hey, this is what you're looking for. And stealth combat isn't bad for the assassin, but the assassin only gets 1 strain bonus and 1 stat bonus in the whole tree. The stat bonus, I think almost, except all for 1 specialization gets a stat bonus, and it's always the furthest down you can get. So it's going to take you a while to get that stat bonus. But with HK-47, I don't know if I want to go stealth, coordination, and skullduggery. He's not, I mean, he's kind of renowned for that. KOTOR 2 had some characters that were like HK-47, but weren't as good. But the skullduggery was their thing. HK-47 was all about combat. So I don't know if I want to go with something that's quite so sneaky and quite so, I wouldn't say weak, but not boosted to the highest regard. So what I did is I went through all of these things and I kind of looked, and I could go with melee master with 8 wounds, so he'd be super tough, and he would have a soak, so he couldn't be damaged as much. But instead, I went to Age of the Empire, and I went to Soldier, and I went with Trailblazer. Trailblazer is a guerrilla style play style. You get +4 wounds, you get 1 strain and 1 stat bonus. You're boosted in stealth and coordination, and your thing is mobility and ambushes, which is closer. He's got more utility, and he's got less of combat than the assassin, but he's a little tougher, and I kind of wanted more toughness. And I don't know, just Trailblazer, which I will switch over to. It just was more of a hunter kind of aspect to him. I wanted him to be a warrior, so we went with Trailblazer. It's like Assassin, but a little more in the battlefield kind of setup. So let's just go take a look here. So at the top of Trailblazer, we have career skills, and every soldier gets the career skills that are up here. So we're going to go back to our character sheet. Athletics. So this is how you notify if they are career skills or not. And then warfare. Okay, and then medicine. We'll go here. Melee, which is up here. These are all alphabetical, which would be great if they were all alphabetical on the main chart, but they're not. Ranged, I've got double, so it's both ranged, heavy, and light, and survival, which is down here. All right, and then specialization Trailblazer, we get knowledge of the outer rim, and then we get perception, which is here. Stealth and also survival. Okay, so we double dipped on survival, and that will come in handy a little bit later. All right, so we've selected the career, and then let's see. So we'll go down to soldier, because this will tell us exactly what we're going to be doing. Those are that. Okay, so the soldier automatically gains a rank in 4 of these skills without spending experience, and gains a discount on increasing them with future experience points. Here's the thing. Because we're a droid, we get to do 6 of the 8 instead of 4 of the 8. So we're going to go through, and we are going to take a skill in athletics. We're going to take a skill in the knowledge of warfare, and then 1 in melee, 2 in ranged, Okay, so that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One more, and so we'll go with survival. Now, with the specialization skills, we get 3 of the 4 specialization skills, but one of them was survival. So instead of double dipping on survival, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take one in all the others. So knowledge, outer rim, we'll take a skill slot in there, and then perception, one there, and one in stealth. Boom. All right, so now you'll notice that this automatically, when I click here, turn this green into a yellow. And that's because when you get a skill, you actually upgrade the ability that is associated with the skill to I'll talk about it in a little bit. But we're upgrading the characteristic points with a skill point, so it turns to a better die that we will be rolling. And I'll explain that in a little bit. Okay. So we got all of our free skills. And I think that leads us to the next thing, which is really fun. And that is investing experience points. Now, like I said before, we have 175 XP because we are a droid. And this XP can be spent on a few things, as it is explained. As it is explained here. We may spend it to increase our characteristics, and this is only during character creation that we can do this. We can use it to purchase ranks and skills, like we got those free ones just now. We can buy some more of that. You can spend experience to purchase talents within the specialization. That is these abilities. We can unlock them, and you can see the cost there. And then we can also use XP to purchase new specializations. So I don't have to stick to soldier. I can go with something else. I'm not going to be doing that with this character build, but we could if we wanted to. Just a real quick thing of what might be a good option is recruit is not in itself a career. It's actually a specialization under all careers. And it gives you a whole bunch of really good stuff, like if you don't start with Brawl and Ranged Light being a career skill, boom, automatic. Melee and Ranged Heavy, boom, there you go. You get +2 wounds. You got some strain, +2 strain, and then there's another +2 wound. Yeah, so it's a good booster. We're not going to be doing that in this character build, but it is an option. Okay, so what we're going to be doing, and I will show you real quick. Let's go back here. Okay, so we have 175 XP. We want to boost these because these are really low, and we can't boost them later in the game unless we go through the whole talent tree and boost one of them for 1 point, which will be a while. So we want to really focus on these early. All right, so let's say I want to take this brawn and take it from 1 to 2. Okay, so what I would do is for the level that I want it to get to, I have to spend that times 10 XP. So, in other words, if I wanted to go to 2, I would spend 20 XP. So we'll go boom. There we go. And then that takes us down to 155. All right. Now, Brawn, I boosted up because it adds a few more hit points to us, which is what we really want. Now, that's just one step, though. What if I wanted to boost something up to level 4 from 1? That's going to be expensive, because what we do is we first upgrade it to 2. That's 20. Then we upgrade it to 3. That's 30. Plus the 20, that's 50. And then we upgrade it to 4. That's 40. Plus the 50 that we had before, that's 90 in total. So we just spent 90 of our XP to go up to agility 4. That's a lot. That's a fair amount. Let's see if I did this right. I did not do this right. I did not do my cheat sheet correctly, so we're going to have a slightly less good character, but that's all right. That's all right. It'll give us some stuff to work with. All right. You know what? Instead of doing, well, no, I want to keep agility up pretty high, because agility will give us the ability to shoot really well, and we want this character to shoot really well. In fact, if you look down here, you will see that instead of 1 die, we actually have 2 now. Or not 2 now. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 under ranged. That's because our agility is up to 4, and one of them is yellow because we have a skill in it. When you have an ability and you have a skill with that ability, the larger amount will always be your base. So in this instance, agility is 4. My skill for ranged, heavy or light, doesn't matter right now, is 1. So we have 4 and 1. What you do is you say, okay, so 4 is the base. Like right here, we have gunnery here, okay? We have no skills in gunnery, but we have 4 agility, which is the base ability, the base characteristic of that skill. So even though we don't have any ranks in gunnery, we will be rolling 4 good dice. So we'll have a higher chance of rolling something good for that. Now, with ranged heavy, we are using the same agility, but we have 1 skill in it. So when you have a higher number and a lower number, the higher number is the base, and the lower number is the number upgraded. Anyway, just thought I would throw that your way. In my cheat sheet, I upgraded cunning to 3, which would cost an extra 50, and that would leave me with, let me see, 190. No, it would be 90 plus that is 110. That would be 160, which would leave me with 15, which is not what I want to do. So we're going to forgo cunning, as painful as that is. So we're going to use our XP to now buy skills. And the skills that we're going to buy are ranged light and ranged heavy. We'll put a skill point in perception and a skill point into stealth. But I will talk to you about how that works. So if it is a career skill, what happens is when you buy it, you are paying 5 per skill level that you're buying. For instance, we've got Brawl. So that would be 5 XP. To go to level 2 in Brawl, we would be paying, because it's level 2, 2 times 5 is 10. So 5, 10, for a total of 15. We're not going to be boosting Brawl. We're going to be boosting Ranged Light and Ranged Heavy. So we already have these for free, so we only have to pay 10 and another 10. See what I was talking about earlier? 2 skills, 4 characteristic. So we have 4 dice in total. 2 of them are upgraded to a better die. All right, so that's 20. Did we update this? Yes, we did. Okay, so 20. So let's go down here and change that to 45. Then we're going to boost up our stealth. We'll boost that to that, so that'll be another 10 off of there. And perception, we're going to go up. All right, and here we have the other way around. Like I was talking earlier, the higher number is actually the number of skill points we have, because cunning is actually only 1. So we have skill level of 2, cunning of 1. So we have 2 dice in total and 1 boost. There we go. Now then, I'm pretty annoyed that I couldn't boost cunning any. Oh well. It's all right. It's all right. Next up, we will... we have... Let me see. Did I do that correctly? No, I did not. Okay. So it was 65, and I spent 40 just now, so that takes this... that takes us to 25. Okay, so we have 25 to spend, and I'm going to go to our talent tree for this. Our talent tree, we've got some good options here. We've got Stalker, which adds one boost die per stealth and coordination check. So that would be good. And then we have Toughened, which would give us +2 wounds for the wound threshold, which would be great. Expert Tracker would be great. And I'm going to go with these 3 and Disorient. Now, you'll notice each of these is 5, 5, 5, so that's 15. And then this one is 10. Now, I can buy this one because I'm going to buy Stalker. So I buy Stalker, and then I follow this line to Disorient, so we get both of them. You cannot buy anything higher up in the tree unless you have a line or a path leading you there. So if I wanted to buy one with nature, I would have to go Expert Tracker, Outdoorsman, Toughened, then one with nature. Alternatively, I could go Stalker, Disorient, Prime Positions, Dodge, Blind Spot, Expert Tracker, one with nature. It just has to have a path. If you have a path to get there from the top, then you can buy anything you want. We could go expert. If we wanted to get grit, we could go Expert Tracker, Outdoorsman, Toughened, one with nature, Expert Tracker, Disorient, Ambush, Dedication, Dodge, Prey on the Weak, Dodge, Prime Positions, Disorient, Grit. We could do that. That would be a really weird way to get there, but we could do that. But we're going to take Stalker, Toughened, Disorient, and Expert Tracker. And I didn't copy what these things do onto my cheat sheet, which is obnoxious. I really should have done that. But for this, I will just write down what they are. So, Stalker. And what you can do with this is you can... there is a point here where if you just have the name, you just look up the name. So it's all alphabetical. Come down here. ST Stalker. Adds 1 boost to coordination and stealth checks. So if you just have the name of the talent, you can look it up. I'm not going to fill out all of that into this, I'm just going to go Stalker. And then Toughen. And then Disorient. Come on. We'll just copy and paste. Copy, paste, and Expert Tracker. Copy, paste. Yeah, sorry, I should have... Well, first off, I should have put them over here, and then should have written out a little synopsis of what they do, and then have them in there. But we have this as a reference. And if you were going to be playing with physical copies, what you could do is you could just print this out and then put a check mark on the things you got, and then you can just look at it. Otherwise, you can write it on your character sheet for quick reference, whatever you feel. All right, but anyway, that's all the XP I had. So now let's take a look. Wounds. Wounds are based off of your species, which was droid, which was 10 plus brawn. So that is 12. Now, we also got toughened, which gives us another. So we start with 14. Strain is your willpower plus 10. And because we didn't boost our willpower and we didn't buy anything like grit, we don't go up any there. We have 0 defense, which is fine, and soak 2. Now, soak is based off of your brawn. Soak is the amount of damage that when you get hit gets canceled out. Things with armor, things with tough hides, things that are just beefy like a Wookiee, they can just shrug off some of the damage when they get hit because they're just so strong and tough. Like a Reek from episode 2. You can shoot at it all you want, it's just gonna get mad at you. That's what soak does. All right. So, yeah, we've done all of our attributes. We will be revisiting this in a bit. Oh, I should probably write down my career, which is Soldier and Trailblazer. Cool. All right. We will be revisiting some of these once we've bought equipment. And before we get to that, we have to go to our motivation. Okay, so determine motivation. And I rolled for this, so you can choose from these. Once again, this is not very mechanical. This is all just kind of role play kind of structure that you can build off of to build your character. You can choose from these. You can make up your own. But I just rolled dice to just get something random. And my random thing was I had a connection. And that connection was to the military, which I thought was pretty fitting for the HK unit, considering he was part of Revan's retinue. So we're going to go here, and we're going to go to motivation. Military connections and connection. All right. And the kind of backstory that I kind of came up with was he was owned by a late commander, a commander that died, and remained part of the squad that was run by that commander, and everyone else on the squad is dead. He's the only survivor from that squad. So maybe there's a bit of guilt that comes along with that. Maybe there's a sense of dread with everybody else who hangs out with him, knowing that everyone who's ever hung out with this droid has died in battle. Maybe that's something. It's just a little bit of flavor, you know? All right, so now we've got the beginnings of a character. Now let's look at the fun stuff and going shopping. Now, this is the part where I tried recording last time, and there were just so many choices and so many thoughts and so many ideas, and it just kind of got bogged down. And as it is, I've been recording for about 45 minutes, and this is the thing that really took me over the edge because I was explaining a lot of stuff, and then I did a lot of reading about gear and equipment and whatnot. So you guys can look this up for yourself. There's also every specialization or career source book also comes with their own weapons and stuff. In fact, one of the his main weapon I got is the DH-17 blaster carbine from the soldier source book. So yeah, we're going to be going from the soldier source book to the core rule book, back and forth. And honestly, I didn't think that was worth you guys watching, but we will throw in some of his stuff because I have the cheat sheet and it's all written down. So, first thing that I have is a 900 credit DH-17 blaster carbine. So we're just going to call that there. The skill is, well, I don't know what this. The skill for it would be ranged heavy. All right, cool. And then damage. One thing that I really like about this thing is the damage is pretty high. And that is an 8, and range is medium. And the crit zone is 3. So very, very attainable. Oh. Clicked on the wrong thing. 3. It's got some special stuff. It's got a bunch of stuff here. Now, one thing that I don't like about this character sheet is it has this area, and then down here it has this area. Yeah, weapons, and it has all sorts of modification areas and whatnot. So, let's just go with the carbine because we've got. Oh. Yeah. Let's see. Delete all of this. Okay, weapons. There. And this is all the stuff that we just filled out. But the main thing that I wanted to add to this was we're going to be throwing on a attachment to this. So we're going to throw in a built-in blaster sight, which will allow us to shoot more accurately when we want to shoot somebody non-lethally. That is what the built-in blaster sight does, is it removes one setback. Usually you would have 2, but this automatically removes one of those. So it makes it a little easier to be a little more precise. But for now, this is okay here. We also are going to have a couple frag grenades. Copy, paste, ranged heavy. So this is going to be ranged light. Ranged light. Damage. It's going to be another 8. The crit is a 4. The range is short. And special is blast 6 limited ammo. Okay. If you're wondering what blast is, or if you want to know what auto fire is, or inaccurate, or stun setting, go here and under gear, you have item qualities, and you have all of this. Blast is basically an explosive attack. There is a modification that we could put on our gun that would make it basically an explosives launcher, which is pretty crazy. And we won't go through all of these, but I just want to show you, like auto fire is basically turns it into a machine gun, and you just shoot, 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 and if you succeed to hit on one attack, then you can roll to make another attack and see if that hits, and that can just keep going. Pretty insane. Pretty insane. All right. And then for close combat, we have a vibro knife. And keeping in mind that I started with 3,000 credits, so I have a lot. This is definitely melee. The damage was +1, which is not a ton, but it's good because we definitely are engaged when we are attacking. That is the shortest range possible. And the crit on this is what really is nice. It's a crit 2. So if you roll two advantages with a vibro knife, you can crit, which is really nice. It's also got pierce, which goes through soak, and it is vicious, so it adds +10 to any crits that it does. So yeah, very nice vibro knife. I like it. Okay, so with droids, you can wear things, but in lore or in the game, it actually is like it's being integrated into your character. So instead of having armor, you are just going to have armored plating. I went with armored clothing, so that costs a fair amount. Armored clothing. Oh, it's not going to let me spell it the British way or somewhat British. Who knows? All right, armored clothing. It's 1 defense and 1 soak, and has 1 HP. So I'll just 1 HP. If you see HP, that is a hard point, and that means you can add modifications to it in the future. But what we're going to do is, now that we have this, that gives us 1 defense and 1 soak, we're going to upgrade this. So 3 and 1 and 1. Cool. And then load bearing gear, we're just going to throw on there. Load bearing gear. This will, yes, load bearing gear. That will give us more encumbrance, so we can carry things like an extra reload. Reload. And how many of them? Extra reload times 4. And each of them has an encumbrance of 1, though that would be... encumbrance is kind of a vague topic, but with the load-bearing harness or whatever it was, yeah, that's not an issue. And then emergency repair kit. We have 4 of those as well. I was trying to avoid getting that because I was like, we're not gonna get hurt. We're HK-47. We're not about repairing ourselves. We're about kicking butt. But we had money to spend. And last but not least, we have a hollow messenger. Basically a cell phone. You get to send hollow messages to people. It's not as basic as a comm link. It's actually pretty sweet and has no encumbrance as well. And we have 50 credits left over. And that, my friends, is my build of HK-47. Hopefully that helped you just going through the process. Hopefully that was fun to watch and informative. And if you have any questions, let me know. I'm still getting used to this system, and droids are really hard to build because you've got so much extra stuff going for you. And I really wish I had written all of these down, but this would allow you to write the page where you would find those descriptions that I was telling you about in the core rulebook. Like you could say, okay, well, lethal blows is in 151. Make it easy on myself. Write it here. 151 core rulebook, Age of Rebellion. It would be here. Anyway, there's a lot more we could do. We could talk about the character description and the age and the coloration and whatnot. And, all of that is fun and fine and stuff like that. This is a lot of information that you can store for a game that really is more story-based than actually mechanics-based. So, pick your poison. And until next time, this is Hogwash. Over and out. Catch you later.